Hi, everybody. This is Christian Morgan from the Christian Morgan Show. I'm coming at you today to give you a idea that I didn't think about for the longest time until recently. And I'm speaking in a worldwide type thing. What is thing, the one thing that Christ himself or God himself had said that that would define such their character, their work. But he marked these people from the day that they were born, before they were born. So it got me thinking, what thing was he mentioning? And this is a global thing, but only a small remnant, a remnant. And I had to think to myself, what remnant is that? So it got me thinking about the blood groups: type A, type B, type AB, type O. Those are universal across all skin tones, all skin tones. Depending upon if you have no melanin or if you have so much melanin that you can be midnight. So it had to get me wondering. And the only thing that makes even any sense is the RH factor. The RH factor is something that didn't make sense before to most scientists when they found it when they found out about it back in the day. They didn't know what the heck they were dealing with. So it was a crapshoot if you gave somebody blood. Then they started to figure out, why are all these people, a certain amount of people dying when you give person A, person B some blood. Then I had to think, then they figured that there were two different, different, actually different types of blood. You had the majority, about 85%, that is Rh positive. That's the human stock, as they call it. And then I started digging into the more ancient records. Then they have something. There was a event that split everybody off from the herd who was Rh negative. So it got me to thinking. It really got me to thinking. What event got got people with this particular marker in their bloodstream? And I have that marker, very, very much so. But yeah, but you all may call me crazy for saying this. I have that marker. It's Rh negative. There is one person throughout all of history, human history, that came down and was immaculately conceived by 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 the law of odds or averages. Statistically, that's not possible. That's not possible by human standards. If that one event that flipped the rest off from the herd, that R is negative from the herd, then why are RH negative people tracked? Why are RH negative people? Why not RH positive? The point that I'm trying to make is, what if, and I say what if RH negative people regardless of melanin tone, regardless. I'm not saying people who are of African descent are wrong about their heritage, but what if it's not just about the melanin? What if it's about what's inside of you? And I have this marker, the Rh negative marker, so use some discernment. Christ has said himself, that that it is. I don't know how to explain this, but the point that I'm trying to say is there's something in my blood, even, and I can give you a personal story. Even though this was a human being, at least what perceived to be a human being, he threatened to, unalive me with a boomstick or self-defense tool. And this is at a bus stop in Phoenix. While he was doing it, at the very moment the sun shined, and he got up, and he looked scared. He looked scared. He looked scared of me. And I'm looking like, I said nothing that was disrespectful. And then I looked down the street. A bunch of women were coming up out of nowhere. It might as well have been an army of angels. This guy got up and ran away. He was threatening to end my life or unalive me. And then turns around and leaves. That tells me God knows he knew something deep in what was left of his soul, that I was not to be touched by a higher authority than what is on this earth. Again and again and again, when I put God in the wheelhouse, things happen that I can't explain. But when I put my own self in the wheelhouse, I fall flat on my face before I get out of my chair. The point that I'm trying to make is it's not necessarily about the skin tone, it's what's in the blood. And another example of what I'm about to say is, remember that particular event where and you could tell where you were on that particular day? The Twin Towers, they are now gone. What did they represent? Look at the symbolism. I'm not. That was an effing tragedy. Look at the symbolism. What do they represent? And what went up in its spot? And then everything that's happened since then. Use some discernment. The Freedom Tower, look at what was there before and what is there now. What does that tell you? Those two towers represented the Elohim. And the 46th chromosomes. 23 from your mom, 23 from your dad. That's a given. But the part that really got me was, so you had a double helix. Then you go a little bit more when that one tower was up, the Freedom Tower. It was going up in a spiral. But then I started to pull it apart in my mind. That would represent a triple helix. A triple helix. Why? Remember the cough and all the presumptuous flu shots? What would that remotely represent? Why were they pushing this during that time and then also pushing flu shots? What would it do to the human bloodstream or to the human uh, uh, DNA. What would it do? What if, and here's a what if. What if it would turn around and create a triple helix in the bloodstream? But here's the only thing that didn't make sense. But what would happen to an Rh negative person versus an Rh positive? Rh positive person, because I notice when I talk around some people, they tend to be zombies. And trust me, for years, I was called a zombie because I take pills. But I noticed that people who have taken that, they are zombies. Literal effing zombies. But they're just waiting for the right code. What if it did something to the DNA marker? What if? I say what if, but what if it was only for the particular people of Rh positive? That was the only two differences. Because I woke up after all this started, and I'm thinking to myself, why now? Why now did I wake up? That God had to wake me up through DNA and RNA. The two, because there's something in my blood that is rejecting those particular things. Something Christ had said, I have purchased you with a high price. And he wasn't even dead yet. We were purchased by the blood of Christ. Christ, and that made me think, Christ himself was Rh negative, apparently. And everybody since there's been an anomaly in the human stock, so to speak. A anomaly. And I'm telling you this, the only anomaly that is statistically possible is unless there was an intervention. An intervention of proportions that would have to have caused of a birth of one person. And everybody since then, the lineage of Christ is due to that one marker. That is the truth. And I know it in my heart. So it explain to me what is happening now. Take the current guy. They said by the world, he does not have to be beloved, but he has to be cunning and get a bunch. Yeah, I bought it for about a minute, but then something changed with that. He has to be cunning. He has to be smart. He knows how to have to say the right words to get certain groups to be him. But he's just a placeholder for the one behind him, for the true Antichrist. He's the one that is in front. But on 03 of 26, something majorly is going to happen. And according to my country's line of succession, if point A, if the current placeholder has to either be impeached, a natural death, or etc. So 03 of 26, there's only one person, and I call him the smoky-eyed, and he's the VP. My gut guess, this guy, he's the one. And people blame Barack Hussein Obama for being the guy. And I didn't quite put it together until recently. All of it. But you may call me crazy. And that's fine. But what if it's true? What if it's true? It's just something to think about. If you like what I do, please like the video, please share the video, and please comment so that way I know that I'm not just shouting into the void. And please share the video again. Thank you.